if you got one that's real stuck, for you married guys, a lot of times these trucks with higher mileage on them, these will get stuck in here real good, especially if they've been turned up for a long time. If you all want a kind of a tip to fix these to look better, if they're real stuck, go in there and get your wife real pissed off at you and get screaming mad, and then come out here and beat on it and it'll come out. But that's just, they come out pretty easy most of the time. Hey guys, it's Jonah Bunch back with another video from Bunch's Diesel Performance. So what we've got here today is a super nice truck. This truck was I knew the original owner of this truck, and a friend of mine bought it about 2 years ago. The truck's got 50,000 original miles. It's a 2009 model LMM. He bought it. We did all of the upper control arms, Fox shocks, everything to make it ride as good as it can. However, at the time that he bought it, the truck was on stock tires, and he just wanted it to improve the ride quality. Well, now he sold the truck to his son, and he wanted a little bit bigger tires on it, as you can see. So what he's done to do that is he's cranked up the factory torsion keys. Well, what that does is when you crank up the factory torsion keys, you're losing a lot of your suspension travel. So what we're going to do today is we'll get this truck in, get the keys swapped to the upgraded kryptonite keys that's going to give it the leveled look but not sacrifice the performance. So we'll get a shot of how to do that for you real quick, and we'll catch you in a minute. Alright guys, so the first thing we want to do is figure out where he wants the truck set back at as far as suspension wise go. He's got it set up exactly the way he wants it as far as the way the ride is. So what we'll do, we'll take our tape measure from the top of the tire, and we're going to be right at 10.5 inches from top of the tire to the top of the fender. So when we get the keys swapped out, we want to make sure we set them back the exact same way. Guys, make sure when you're setting your jacks that you put them on the inside enough so that the suspension will have full travel. So while you're doing this, don't jack it from the arms, because you want the suspension to be able to droop down. All right guys, as you can see, that bolt, it's not all the way up in there, but it's turned way up. So the way this works from the factory is this key that goes in here. When you put this bolt in, the tighter you turn that bolt, it's going to twist, and then what it does is it puts tension on this bar, which jacks the front end up. So, but the downside of that is the more that you turn that bolt up, the less suspension travel you have, because it tightens everything up. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and get the two bolts out, and then get our tool set in here. If you look here, this tool has got a little notch on the top of it. That notch is going to set into a channel. You can see that right there. And so you put that notch in the channel, and then you'll tighten the bolt up on the bottom of the key. Alright guys, so once you've got your tool set in here and your key cranked up, you get your bolt took out, you want to just turn it up just far enough that you can take out this little retainer. And what this retainer is doing is that is what holds your key into this cross member. So we'll get both of these took out and then get the keys took out. So we'll take our punch here and a little sledge, put it right in this hole. And what we're doing is we're knocking the torsion bar out of. Alright guys, so here's our new keys and here's our old key. Now, they look pretty similar. The difference of them is when you line up the shape here, octagon, whatever that is, hexagon. You see how that's different? So what that shows is this key cranked all the way up is going to ride like this key with the bolt very low in it. So the bolt would go here, and the more you turn the bolt up, the more it's going to turn it up. So it's going to add you about, that much of your bolt. So that's why we're doing these The sticker took off. Oh, let me do that tool real quick. So this tool is a GM tool, and I've had it since I don't know when, long time. We'll put a link in the description below to where y'all can buy this tool. It's super handy. One thing you want to make sure of, I've used this tool countless amount of times. If you're going to keep it and you're going to be doing this on a regular basis, make sure as you use it, you keep some oil on these threads. Because, you know, as you're going in and out, it's just going to put stress on them. You don't have to rebuy it because it's probably $150 or something. I don't know. But just take care of it and it'll last you a good long time. All right, guys, so you'll get your key. Make sure it only can go in one way. It's going to work. So it's going to kind of be aimed down a little bit. Get it up in there and then just get your bar. And if you look from this side that I'm laying, it'll just line right back up, and that key will sit in there like that right there. So it's in the bar, nope, nothing. And so we'll get both sides set in like that. And then so we gotta make our room to get in our notch here. If it don't go in the notch, it ain't gonna go up right. Right there. Guys, just crank that up far enough that you can get this little retainer back in there. And if you really, really like your new tool that you bought, do this by hand, not with an impact, because you can break it. So now that we've got our new keys in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this bolt in just until I see the key start to move. Now you'll drop the suspension back down. Over. So bounce on it a little bit, let the slack out of it. Come over here and measure. Well, actually, almost an inch up. So what that'll do, generally I try to set them about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch higher when we first put the keys in. Because what that's going to do is that truck will settle a little bit as you drive. So we'll go out and run it down the road and come back, remeasure, and then you can just make adjustments with that bolt. Main thing you want to do is make sure that your left and your right are sitting square. So just make a measurement here, measurement there, make sure those numbers are the same, and just adjust the bolts until you get it to where you want it.